Hi Bettye Hyde team! I'm sitting here in my living room today and I am going to read you one of our most favorite stories. Can you guess what it is? It's The Wizard of Oz. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, in America, in Kansas, lived Dorothy on a farm with her little dog, Toto. Dorothy was sitting on the farm and she wondered, I wonder if there's another place. Is there a better place? I'm so tired of sitting here on my farm all by myself. I wish there was a magical land. So Dorothy was sitting on her farm and she dreamed of a place where there were rainbows. Dreams that you dare to dream really do. All of a sudden, the really wicked lady named Mrs. Gulch appeared on her bicycle. She was coming to tell Auntie Em that Dorothy had her little dog, and her little dog had taken a bite out of Mrs. Gulch's leg. Well, Mrs. Gulch came to take Toto away. Dorothy cried and she said, please don't take away Toto. That's my best friend. Please don't take him. And Mrs. Gulch said, I'm taking away your dog because I'm wicked. And I will take your dog away so he never bites anybody again. And Dorothy said, my Toto would never ever bite anyone. That is not true. That's not a true story. Mrs. Gulch grabbed Toto. She put Toto in her bicycle basket and she rode away. All of a sudden, there was a great loud sound. It was thunder and lightning, and the sky went black. Along came a huge tornado right across the farmland. Dorothy got so scared she ran inside the house. She ran inside the farmhouse and she said, Auntie Em, I can't find you, Auntie Em. She couldn't find her Auntie Em, so she ran inside the house as fast as she could. When Dorothy woke up, she looked around through her window and she listened. And she couldn't hear anything, so she stepped outside. She went outside and all she saw was rainbows and beautiful flowers. Look, she's so happy. She said to Toto, where are we, Toto? I don't know where we are. What's happened? Where is our farm? Where is Kansas? I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Soon there was magical music, and all of a sudden, these little friends came out. And they said, hi, we're the Munchkins. You're in Munchkin Land now. And Dorothy said, oh my goodness, well, hello everyone. It's so nice to see you. They gave her a big lollipop. She was pretty excited. Then from the sky came down Glinda, the good witch, and she floated down in a bubble. And all of the Munchkins stepped back. Glinda came down and she said, well, hello there. We must all thank you. We just wanted to say that we are so grateful because when your house landed, it landed on the Wicked Witch of the East. And Dorothy said, oh my goodness, I didn't mean to hurt anybody. I'm so sorry. And Glinda said, well, she was a wicked witch. So Dorothy said, oh, well, okay, I am very sorry. Then, out of nowhere, came the Wicked Witch of the East. She came down to Dorothy and she said, you evil, evil woman! You landed on my sister! And And Dorothy said, oh, but I said I didn't mean to. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And of course, Glinda, she was very calm. Glinda sat and she said, you go away, Wicked Witch of the East. There's no one here that wants to speak to you. And Dorothy said, oh dear, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And that Wicked Witch, she said, Dorothy, I'll get you. And your little dog, too. Glinda said, these slippers are magic slippers, and only the person who takes care of the Wicked Witch of the East will get to wear those slippers. So Glinda used her magic wand, she waved her wand, and she said, ooh, the magic slippers are on you. And all of a sudden, on Dorothy's feet, the ruby slippers appeared. The Wicked Witch of the East was not very happy about it. She wanted those magic slippers so that she could control all of the Munchkin land. But it was too late. They were on Dorothy's feet now. These slippers are very powerful. And Glinda said, be gone! And off went the witch. So Dorothy said to Glinda, she said, I don't know how to get home. I don't know how to get to Kansas. Could you please help me? And Glinda said to Dorothy, well, there's only one thing you have to do. You'll have to go and see the wizard. And Dorothy said, I don't know where he is. And Glinda said, well, you just have to follow the yellow brick road. Along she went, down the yellow brick road, and she came across a scarecrow. Now that scarecrow, he was standing there in the fields, and you notice, look and see, he's not scaring anybody. Those crows are up there, and they're climbing on him, and he was saying, oh my goodness, I would really like to go and see the wizard. Would you come and help me? Hi, Murray. So Dorothy said, but of course, why don't you come with me? We can go and see the wizard. And maybe he will be able to help you. I wonder what he needs. The scarecrow, he really wanted to go. He was kind of scared to go with Dorothy. He didn't know how to get there. And she said to him, well, all we have to do is follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Along they went. And then they came across the Tin Man. Now the Tin Man, he was all rusted up. And he kept trying to explain to Dorothy, he was saying, ooh. He wasn't able to talk, so they found the oil can and they oiled his mouth, and then he was able to talk. And he said, oh my goodness, help me, I want to come with you. Where are you going? I need to some help. I have to find my heart. When the tinsmith made me, he made me without a heart. And Dorothy said, well, if you come with us, we'll be able to take you to the Wizard of Oz. And he's going to help us. He's going to take me home to Kansas. And he's going to give the Scarecrow a brain. And then he could probably help you get a new heart. So Dorothy and the Scarecrow walked along through the woods. They were going through the scary woods where the trees were. Now those trees just looked like normal trees. They had delicious apples. Dorothy was feeling a little bit hungry, so she grabbed that apple out of the tree. And all of a sudden, the tree grabbed Dorothy. And that Scarecrow said, oh my goodness, I will help you, Dorothy. Let's get out of here fast as we can. And the Tin Man helped too. He started to chop down that tree. And off they went. They ran as fast as they could. They didn't take the apples with them. They had to go as fast as they could. Dorothy was scared. She was really wondering, how am I ever going to get to Kansas? The woods were getting thicker. They were still trying to follow that yellow brick road. Along they went. And then they found out of the woods jumped a big lion, and he came out and he said, "Put him off, put him off!" And Dorothy said, "Oh my goodness, you've scared my friends. You've scared the Tin Man, you've scared the Scarecrow, and you've scared my little dog. But you haven't scared me. How dare you? You should be ashamed of yourself." And she tapped that lion on the nose. And he just started crying. He said, "Oh my goodness, oh, I'm so scared. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm really quite a cowardly lion." And Dorothy said, "Well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you cry, but you scared my friends." And he said, "Well, I really didn't mean to. I'm really but a cowardly lion. I am actually looking for some help. I sure would like to have some courage." So Dorothy said, "Why don't you come with us? We're going to see the Wizard of Oz. Maybe he could help you." And the lion said, "Oh, that Wizard of Oz, he is almighty and all-powerful. He's so scary. I don't know." And Dorothy said, "It's okay, don't worry. We'll get there." So along they went down that yellow brick road. In the meantime, that witch, the Wicked Witch of the West, was devising a plan to stop them from going to see the wizard. All that witch wanted was her slippers. She wanted those ruby slippers. So she decided to put some special poison in the air, which would make Dorothy and all of her friends fall asleep in a field of poppies. So the witch put a magic spell, and all of a sudden, Dorothy fell asleep. The lion started to yawn, but the Scarecrow, he didn't fall asleep. He said, "Dorothy, Dorothy, wake up, it's time to go, we must go." They went as fast as they could, and they finally made it. They finally made it to see the almighty and all-powerful Wizard of Oz. They knocked on the door, and the wizard came out. Now, Dorothy, she said to the wizard, "Hello, I would like to try and get home to Kansas, and I was told you could help me. And now my friend the Scarecrow needs a brain, and my friend the Lion needs some courage, and the Tin Man, well, he needs a heart." And the wizard said, "Go away. I can't help you. Go away." And then he noticed that Dorothy was wearing the ruby slippers. And he said, "Where did you find those ruby slippers?" And Dorothy said, "Well, they just appeared on my feet. Glinda the Good Witch gave them to me." And he said, "Well, if you have the ruby slippers, then you'll be able to capture the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West." Well, Dorothy said, "Well, I met her, and I don't think I'll be able to. She's very scary." And so he said, "If you want me to help you go home to Kansas, you will have to bring me the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West." So Dorothy and Toto and the Tin Man and the Lion and the Scarecrow all decided to carry on down back the yellow brick road to find where the witch's castle was. While they were walking, they heard a scary, scary sound. And they looked up in the sky, and it was the witch. She was flying through the sky, and with her broomstick, she wrote, "Surrender, Dorothy!" Oh my goodness, Dorothy, she's, oh my goodness. That poor cowardly lion was so afraid. "She's followed us here. What are we going to do?" "Oh my goodness, it's okay. We'll be okay. Let's go. Let's go as quickly as we can." So they went back through the haunted forest, all the way down the yellow brick road. The sign said, "I would turn back if I were you." And they tiptoed down quietly. And then that witch, she flew from the sky. And she grabbed Dorothy, and she grabbed Toto, and she took Dorothy back to her castle. And then she showed Dorothy the crystal ball, and she said, "Your friends are no more." And Dorothy said, "Oh no, I will definitely defeat you. I will save my friends. We will get out of here. You will see." And that wicked witch, she said, "Oh, I will get you, my pretty, and your little dog, too." The witch reached over and she tried to grab those ruby slippers. And out of nowhere, there were sparks and fire. And the wicked witch went back and ouch, 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 ouch. The fire from the shoes burnt her fingers. And Dorothy said, "Run, run, Toto, run!" And Toto ran away as fast as he could. Toto was going to find Dorothy's friends. The sand in the hourglass meant that the time was running out. Dorothy's friends were very clever. They got dressed in costumes so that they could sneak into the castle to rescue Dorothy. They tiptoed through the forest. They tiptoed through the castle, up the stairs and into the room where Dorothy was. Oh my goodness. Dorothy, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion all found the witch, and they found Dorothy, and they said, "We are here to take that broomstick away from you." And the wicked witch said, "Oh no, you will not have my broomstick. You will not have it. It has all my powers." And so Dorothy said, well, we need it. You have to give it to us." And the Cowardly Lion accidentally knocked over the flames on the wall where the lights were. And he knocked it down, and it lit that poor witch on fire. Look, her broomstick got burned. And so the Tin Man grabbed a tin of water and he threw the water on the witch to put the fire out. And what happened? "Oh no, I'm melting. And the witch melted down, all the way down into a black puddle on the ground. And all that was left was her hat and her broom. So Dorothy, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion grabbed that broom, and they took it off as fast as they could, back to see that wizard. The wizard said, "Oh my goodness, you found the broom. You have defeated the wicked witch. Munchkinland will be happy again." So he gave the Tin Man his heart. He gave the Scarecrow some brains, and he gave the Lion some courage. And Dorothy said, "Oh my goodness, everyone is all set, but what am I going to do? How am I going to get home?" And he said, "Come with me. I actually used to live in Kansas. I know how to get there. We could take my big hot air balloon through the sky all the way back to Kansas." So Dorothy said, "Oh my goodness, that's fantastic." So she jumped inside, she waved goodbye to her friends. She brought Toto, but oh dear, Toto jumped right out of the basket and he ran away. And Dorothy said, "I can't leave without my Toto. Oh my goodness." So Dorothy jumped out of the basket and off went the wizard all the way to Kansas, leaving Dorothy behind. How was she going to get back home? Then Glinda magically appeared. And she said, "Dorothy, you've had the magic all along. All you have to do is tap your shoes together 3 times and say, 'There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.' And you will be back in Kansas." That is exactly what Dorothy did. She gave her friends a big hug and a kiss, and off she went. She woke up in bed with her Auntie Anne and her Uncle Henry and their friends, and she said, "I think I've had a terrible dream." The end. Like that, Marie? Good night.